I don't know how many of you noticed this, but Hawks is probably going to die. This panel, you could tell very clearly by the way High End is positioned and the way he's looking at Hawks. And then you look at this panel with Hawks looking at something coming towards his face. That's not a feather. That's obviously High End's tentacle coming in and about to pierce him straight through the head. Oh my god. This was powerful. We all thought that Hawks was going to be Icarus, but that was obviously not the case. In fact, it's actually Endeavor that turned out to be Icarus in the end. Now, he could be something else, which I will get into, but the more and more we look at it and the way the chapter is structured, it looks like instead of Hawks being Icarus, it's Endeavor, because of how he got up. And then you saw how he had these wings, these flame wings, and he was being propelled straight towards High End with a punch, and the chapter ends. Let me explain why I say that. The reason why I think, Endeavor is Icarus right now is because he has wings that are literally burning up. Remember, Icarus got too close to the sun. And this is kind of what's going on here. The wings that Endeavor has right now is burning up, because literally the wings that Hawks is giving him has a limited amount of time until they're probably melted and gone, for good. And so the wings are burning up as he's flying towards the man, and as he's going in, he has a limited amount of time, and it's over. And at the same time, it makes me wonder if these wings do get destroyed, can Hawks get them back? Are they gone for good? So it also, the Icarus, symbolism could still be applied to him, but at the same time, it's also implied to Endeavor. So a lot of, thought-provoking things happen at the end. Another way to look at Endeavor is a phoenix. He rised from the ashes of his old self to become something brand new, to be able to be a proper hero, a #1 hero in a new symbol. He rised, and it was like a phoenix, rising from the ashes. And so the two ways you can look at Endeavor right now is as a phoenix, as a new man, or as someone that is Icarus, that his wings are going out and he only has a limited amount of time, and then he will fall to the ground and he will be done. He might take out High End, but in the end he will hit the ground and it is over for him. One or the other could potentially happen because of the way that structure of the chapter was done towards the end. But let's talk about Hawks for a second. Besides Hawks potentially dying because of the tentacle coming in, we get a little bit more details about his character and why he acts like he does. I want to praise Horikoshi for making such an enjoyable character. A character that we've constantly thought could potentially be a bad dude or someone heinous that might be trying to, stab Endeavor in the back to reach #1 status. We now truly get a reason for why he acts like he does. Hawks is an Endeavor fan. And what I mean by that is, he is the equivalent of Izuku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. He was inspired by Endeavor. And that is why he, hangs out with Endeavor, why he looks up to him, why he respects him, why it shows he respects him, is because he looks up to him. Endeavor is his ideal hero. And the reason why he respects him is because of that imagery we got in the chapter when you see a small Hawks with an adult Hawks looking at Endeavor's back and seeing how this man is just hitting a plank. He's just pounding a plank to be able to make a bridge across to All Might, even though it's worthless and it's not going to get him anywhere. It's not going to do anything in the grand scheme of things because it's a large chasm. The point stands is that Endeavor was never giving up. No matter how futile it was, he would press forward and never give up to try to surpass All Might. And Hawks, as a kid, while growing up, before he became a hero that he is right now, he looked at Endeavor, he's like, why does he do this? It's pointless. He's all by himself. Why is he doing this? But at the same time, he respected the man for not giving up, being the only man to try to surpass All Might. Everybody else, they're like, yeah, symbol of peace, symbol of peace, symbol of peace. They're all chanting and all that, being very happy that All Might is there to save the day. But at the same time, everybody, if you think about it logically, All Might's not always going to be there. Regardless if he didn't get put down by All for one of those days he was going to reach an age to where he couldn't be a hero anymore. And so because of that, you know, it was very irresponsible of everyone just praising All Might and not trying to surpass him to kind of relieve the burden. For instance, allowing All Might to not have to carry all the weight on his shoulders by himself, which opens up the main point of what this chapter is about. There is no longer going to be one pillar for society. For instance, there's no longer just going to be a symbol of peace. What I mean by this is the way this chapter was done. With Hawks helping out Endeavor, and the message there of how he's helping Endeavor reach the position of number one, pushing him, giving him a little push on the back to reach the number one spot. That's basically like, if one man cannot surpass All Might, then we need multiple people to surpass him. Multiple people working together can surpass someone extremely great and strong. For instance, Endeavor and Hawks working together, with them truly working together and being a good team, they could bridge the gap between All Might and them. And that's what that message was, showing that from now on, there's no longer going to be one solo man carrying the weight of the entirety of the society on their shoulders. It's going to be hero team-ups. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks where Horikoshi is going with the story, and he's setting us up for heroes forming a team, like, you know, Avengers, aka Avengers or something, working together to take down, you know, villains, which I think would be extremely amazing if that is indeed what happens, because that would be logical for the story. It would also follow through with shonen cliches, but it's a very good cliche by the way it was done with this chapter. It didn't feel like, oh, friendship, power up, and stuff like that. The way friendship was done in this, or at the very least teamwork, it makes me respect, once again, Horikoshi as a writer, because it didn't feel cringy, cliche, or anything like that. It felt like it was done in good taste. And so, yeah, that was the reasoning to why that scene where Hawk's like, let me give you a push on the back, means so much, is because they need to work together to surpass All Might, to build a bridge. Endeavor was always by himself. He had no help. He lacked any help. But now that Hawks is there, they might be able to, instead of putting one or two planks up, they can make a bridge. And so, yeah, that's a really cool little detail about Hawks and how he respects Endeavor, but also why he went so far for the man. And if he does die, that's going to be something. But it's not just that either, though. Another thing as well is that Hawks, if he doesn't die, I'm very curious now on how he's going to feel about Endeavor if the truth gets out. Because, let's be real here, it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time until Endeavor's past comes out to bite him. Until his past with his family is known to the entirety of the world, it's going to come, eventually. It will. It's just a matter of time. Secrets don't stay secret forever. That's just common knowledge, especially if you're someone as popular as Endeavor, and that much in the media. So because of that, I wonder how Hawks will feel about Endeavor if the truth does come out. Because it's clear as day that Hawks respects Endeavor, looks up to him. You know, Endeavor is his inspiration, similar to how All Might inspired so many heroes. And so if his inspiration is idol, you know, he found out that he was this heinous individual, then I wonder how he would react. Would he give up all hope on Endeavor, or would he look past it and try to say, you need to become a new man and prove yourself? I'm very curious about that. But before I go any further with that, I do want to take a few moments to mention how amazing Endeavor was in this chapter. How the man continuously got back up and continued to fight without going down. Now, like I said, it was common sense that Endeavor was not going to die here, okay? I think everybody knew that it just, from storytelling perspective, it would have been interesting, but it didn't make sense by the way Horikoshi has been setting up Endeavor with this redemption arc. It wouldn't make sense just to kill off his character. But at the same time, he does have permanent wounds now. I mean, the man's probably going to have, a very long history of medical conditions after this fight. I mean, with getting impelled, slung through buildings like he did in this chapter, to his eye loss and all that, he's definitely not going to come out of this fight in perfect condition. For instance, he's always going to have some wounds that are going to carry over into many different arcs if he continues to live. And someone pointed out in the comments section last week that I thought was very cool, and props to you for pointing out. There's quite a few, but props to you whoever stated it in the comments of my YouTube video last week. Many were saying, like, Chibi, did you not notice that this could be potentially the beginning of the end for Endeavor, and that this could be a correlation to what happened to All Might? Let me explain. As we know, All Might, when he was fighting All For One, he got a major injury to where he no longer could be a proper hero anymore, because his entire side was just messed up, and I mean, he had problems with breathing and all of that. So because of that, you know, he slowly had to, you know, kind of retire, and then he wound up having to give over his quirk to Izuku, because he couldn't, you know, be a hero anymore. And many were saying, like, Chibi, do you not see that what's going on with Endeavor with High-End could potentially be the beginning of the end for him, that his health is going to go slowly down as he continues to get older and older, and he's not going to be able to be a hero anymore? And if that is truly the case, that's going to be sad, if that is what happens to Endeavor. Like, this is, you know, the beginning of the end for him, that he's not going to be able to be a hero anymore because of the damage he's receiving from this fight. But okay, so anyways, Endeavor's fight, though, the man getting up and fighting against High-End, it's impressive. The man pushing himself that far, and I don't know who has more, I guess, balls and, I guess, hard-headedness. Like, I mean, seeing what All Might did against All For One is pretty scary, especially the description All For One said to All Might. He's like, I still have nightmares to this day of you running at me with your organs coming out and all that. I have nightmares of that. And that's terrifying that All For One said that to All Might. All Might did that to the man. And so, seeing Endeavor getting up, it's also very ballsy. I mean, this man's been impelled straight through, like, in his organs and stuff, in his body. His eyes all messed up. He's burning up, probably running a fever, and he's blasting himself, fighting with everything he possibly can. It's some scary stuff, and I'm just like, Endeavor, I didn't really like you as a person before this arc, but I can't believe Horikoshi has me liking him. It's rather impressive. It really is an impressive feat, because if you go back to my previous videos when I talked about Endeavor, I said that I probably would never forgive the man. I probably would never really like him as a person because of what he did to Todoroki and his entire family. I always saw I wouldn't. But this arc, even though I don't think he's fully redeemed, the only time I think Endeavor's going to be fully redeemed now is when his past catches back up to him, and it comes out to the public, and we get to see his reaction to it, and how everybody looks at it. I think that's when he truly might become redeemed. But for now, though, he's on the path of redemption, and just seeing how I'm really liking this man, and I actually was cheering for him. That's saying a lot. I was cheering for Endeavor in this chapter, like, win, Endeavor, you got this, go in. I mean, when you see the man puking up blood, like, the man legit was puking blood up, which, holy crap, I wonder how Studio Bones is going to animate this. Like, this is a pretty bloody fight. Like, this is not like a typical My Hero Academia fight. This is a really violent fight. So I'm very curious on how they're going to animate this, because seeing Endeavor just puking blood up, you're just like, and then not to mention the eye to being impelled and all that, this man rampaging, it's just, I'm very curious on how this is going to be animated. It's going to look splendid. I mean, look at the back thrusters of Endeavor. The man rushing High-End and all that with back thrusters, going in at this man with a high-velocity punch. I mean, he was even, you know, cutting things up with lasers, high-density lasers and stuff with fire, like beams and stuff. I mean, Endeavor has a very unique quirk, very nice skill set, but also just the way this is going to look in the anime, I can't wait. Visually wise, I am probably going to get my mind blown, but obviously we're going to have Overhaul first in the anime before we ever get this, and I'm looking forward to the Lolly Backpack getting animated, not going to lie. But okay. Anyways, let's talk about the situation with the quirk of Endeavor and how impressive it really is. We know that it has a major weakness. It raises his body temperature, and he cannot continuously use his quirk. If he does, it's going to melt his brain, it's going to cause problems with his body and cells within his body. I mean, it's just not good at all, okay? His quirk is going to have irreversible damage, unless Eri heals him, which we don't really know if they're going to do that, because that's a big, I guess, curveball that Horikoshi can throw. We don't really know how that's going to be done. But anyways, Endeavor's quirk, regardless of the restrictions he has, his quirk is pretty freaking strong. And can we take a moment to acknowledge the fact that Endeavor's strength is probably the strongest we've seen from a single person. Now, I know many are going to be saying, whoa, Chibi, All Might, like, you're going to be saying, like, All Might, you know, he's strong, like, we never seen anyone come close to him. Yes, that's true, but remember, One For All's quirk is broken and stockpiled straight from multiple users throughout many generations. So, it's not really fair to compare, like, 10 people that is in All Might to Endeavor that's a solo man. And so, it makes a lot of sense why nobody could ever bridge the gap to All Might because of how broken the quirk was. And in essence, it was multiple people in one body. So, yeah. And that's what makes this very impressive from Endeavor, that this man is doing this much by himself with just his quirk. Nobody else powering him up or anything, but till Hawks powered him up, which has a big message there, that they need to work together to defeat villains and stuff. So, just like, Endeavor impresses me with his strength, to be able to fight like he does. He's definitely the strongest character I think we've seen in this series, in terms of just raw power and using his quirk. And I mean, I don't really count All For One either, because I mean, he still has a lot of quirks. I don't know, I don't think I could really count that either. I mean, if he had just one simple quirk, I could just use something, then I guess I could count it. But it's not really fair counting like 100 people inside of one person. For instance, like maybe like, you know, All For One, or, you know, 10 inside of, you know, One For All. You know, it's not really fair compared to one individual by himself. But okay, anyways, that's pretty much about it when it comes to this chapter. Let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about what happened? Do you think anyone's going to die? Do you think Hawks is going to die? Do you think he's going to take irreversible damage? Do you think that Endeavor is going to, you know, be the Icarus in the story? Or do you think he's going to be a Phoenix? You know, be honest in the comments below. And I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Stay healthy. If you enjoyed my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.